Good morning. This is Dr. J. Jaishankar, Head of the Department of Commerce, DG Vaishnav College, Chennai. I have immense pleasure in welcoming Mrs. Sindhu Krishnan, who is our resource person for today's webinar on the theme Re-energizing Classroom with Innovative Teaching Techniques. Mrs. Sindhu Krishnan is the Head of the Department of Banking and Insurance, Vidyalankar School of Information Technology, Mumbai. She is also a certified trainer for business English from Cambridge, UK. I have immense pleasure in welcoming her on behalf of the Postgraduate and Research Department of Commerce, Vaishnav College. I understand there are as many as 400 participants for today's webinar. I welcome you all. I also take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. R. Premalata, Assistant Professor, for the initiative she has taken to organize this webinar in a short span of time. And this has also given me an opportunity to speak to my colleagues after a span of more than 2 months. The theme is re-energizing classroom with innovative teaching techniques. I personally feel a basic understanding of the existing classroom environment is necessary before we think in terms of introducing innovative techniques. And our resource person, Mrs. Sindhu Krishnan herself, is a professor in commerce. So she is aware of the challenges that a commerce professor in particular faces in his or her classroom work. See, what happens is the majority of the students these days show preference for a professional career in commerce. They don't want to just study the BCom degree course. They want to do more. So what happens is the students, majority of them, while in the first year itself, they enroll for professional courses such as CA, ACS, or ICWA. So in the first year itself, their priority shifts from mere BCom to a professional course. And these students are unable to be regular for their class. And what happens is the intermediate exams of CA or ACS are held in the month of November or December every year. And the end semester exams for their BCom also are held in November, December. So there is often a clash of exam dates, and these students choose to go for the professional exams. This is what is our experience over the years. Then what happens is you have again a group of students who show keen interest in extension activities throughout the year. They are all members of NCC, NSS, Rotaract, and other such activities. So what happens is these students go for camps organized, and these camps are invariably organized during college working days. Then of course, I need not tell you, you all know about it. Nowadays, college culturals are held across the state throughout the year, and a large number of students show keen interest in cultural programs. So distractions for the contemporary students are aplenty. Then coming to the actual classroom work, see, the duration of the period may be 1 hour, but does effective teaching take place for 1 hour? No. Think of the time consumed in attendance and other formalities. So hardly 40 or 45 minutes teaching time is available for the teacher. And remember, if the subject handled is an accountancy subject like financial accounting or corporate accounting, the teacher needs to dictate the problem. Then the problem will be worked out on the board. So finally, what happens is the teacher will end up not completing the sum at the end of the period, and it is carried forward to the next class. Then if the subject handled is a theory subject like company law or auditing or marketing, to have the attention of the students focused on the lesson that is handled for 20-25 minutes is very difficult, no matter the effectiveness or efficiency with which the subject is taught. Then see, what happens is there are professional institutions in India, professional institutions of higher learning such as the IITs and IIMs. The kind of academic environment that exists in those institutions, if you compare with the environment that exists in a typical arts and science college, if you compare, you will find that the two are the two extremes. There, the students form a homogeneous group. Their IQ level is very high. They are very quick in grasping things. So it is easy for the professor handling the class to use one technique that would suit all the students. But in a typical arts and science college, in a classroom, in a BCom classroom, what happens is you have a group that is heterogeneous, not homogeneous. Some students are very good. They are very fast in grasping things. Then there are average students, below average students, and poor students. Some students don't show any interest in learning at all. So this is what is the trend in our arts and science colleges. So it will not be possible for the professor to use one technique that would suit all the students, correct? Then of course, one more point I would like to stress here is that in most of the arts and science colleges, smart class facilities are not available. So the conventional chalk and talk approach is used. So all these are the constraints that we face as professors in arts and science colleges. So any new technique of teaching learning that should be implemented within this framework, because the framework cannot be altered. The attitude of the students, the preference of the students, all these things will remain the same. So the point here is, how is it that we are going to talk about or implement better and improved techniques of teaching so as to make the teaching learning process more interesting, more enjoyable, and more productive? That is what is the question, I think, that remains to be answered. So to find an answer to these questions, I think we have our resource person, Mrs. Sindhu Krishnan. I once again welcome her on behalf of the PG and Research Department of Commerce. She is in Mumbai right now. She will be talking to you from there. So with these introductory remarks, I would like to hand over the session to Mrs. Sindhu Krishnan. Over to Mrs. Sindhu. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Happy learning and happy morning. I would like to take this opportunity to convey my heartfelt thanks to Dr. J. Shankar, Shift 1 Head of the Department, and Professor S. Sheshadrinath, Shift 2 Head of the Department of Commerce, and my good old friend, Dr. Premalata. This is a wonderful opportunity because it gives me immense pleasure in connecting with my own teaching fraternity across the globe, because learning doesn't have any boundaries. So with this note, let me tell you something. During this lockdown, you and me as a participant or a resource person, we had a lot of technical glitches, but still we never gave up, and we were continuing to learn despite of so many technical glitches. So learning doesn't have any limits and learning doesn't have any boundaries. So with this note, let me take forward my session. So why this kind of re-energizing, recapturing, reconnecting, why these kind of fancy and jazzy words are being used these days? As Professor rightly pointed, uh, taking the attention span of the students, at least with the generation Z, it is very challenging. So how are we going to handle the students? That's the biggest challenge. And the research says that a student is attentive in the class just to 10 to 15 minutes and not more than that. I mean, he's losing his patience, and he just want to get out of the class, or either when you enter itself, he's losing the patience looking at you. So what is that you're going to give it to the generation Z to make them attentive for the full 60 minutes session? So what I practice in the class, let me give a brief about what I do or what I practice. As sir again rightly pointed, there is a challenge of smart classroom, and see, my college is a smart classroom, so I have no limitations. I can go to any extent and explore the activities, classroom activities. But when there are challenges, even for that there is a solution. So my points for today will be, I'll be focusing both on the smart classroom and also for the chalk and talk. Is that right? Okay, so to begin with, I have a small story to tell you. You all know about Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha once walked out of his house and he was walking towards peace. He was walking, 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 and walking, walking, walking. He was very tired. He didn't know what to do. He was very hungry. Then he went and sat under a tree. Then he saw a tiny little squirrel going to the lake, observing the water in his little tail, coming back to the shore, shake it off. Again, this was repeatedly done by the squirrel. Gautam Buddha called the squirrel. Hey, come here. The squirrel asked, what? Then Buddha asked, what are you doing? He said, I'm trying to empty the lake. My 3 little kids are under the water. So I'm trying to empty the lake and then I'll take my kids out. Gautam Buddha said, is it possible? Then the squirrel said, I don't give up like you, and I don't get tired. I will try my best. So Gautam Buddha then realized, okay, I can even learn from tiny little things around me. That gave him a enlightenment towards his peace, and he has attained his eternity, as you all know. So the moral of the story is you can learn little things even from your surroundings. Many a times we ignore our students and our students are ignoring us. So how are we going to connect with the students? See, this emotional connect with the students in a classroom is very, very important. Very simple. I'll tell you one thing. My students, they try to bunk the lectures and go out. So what I tell them is, you bunk the lecture, I don't have a problem, but when you step out of the house, you say bye to your mom and dad. Why do you say that? That's because to make sure that you will safely come back. Similarly, as a faculty, I do have the responsibility on you. So tell a bye and you bunk the lectures and go. I don't have any problem. So what they do is like, okay, ma'am, we are not going to bunk the lectures. We'll sit in your class. If it is a genuine reason, I myself send them to the, I'll give them attendance, in fact, and send them home. So we really need to emotionally get connected with the students. That creates a lot of impact in the classroom. Okay. So when you narrate a story, you really need to share out your inhibition. You have to become a child. Forget that you are an adult in a classroom. Get connected with the students through a beautiful storytelling. Create your expressions, body language, and connect with it. And I definitely know we have a lot of stories in our bag which was told to us by our parents and by grandparents. You might be wondering why this woman is telling a story now. As sir said, last month I was in IIT attending a faculty development program on the same topic. So as you all know, Janaki, she was playing the role of a mother in Vijay's Gilli movie, and in Singham movie also you can see her. Janaki came into our session. I was wondering, what is this lady going to do in the IIT session for all the professors, all the senior professors? The session was 1 hour and 30 minutes, and we were all in the edge. That was a beautiful storytelling session, and I realized how much it will get connected with the students. Okay, you might have certain inhibitions to connect. So for that, I have a small video to share with you. This video is in Hindi, but the subtitle in English has been scrolling down. Just try to observe. It's just a 2 minutes video.
हर हर गंगे। मुन्ना, हाँ? क्या तू ठीक है ना?
जी सब ठीक। इस तरफ
उस तरफ वहां तो बहुत भीड़ है।
बाबूजी कुंभ है, भीड़ तो होगी ना। चलिए
क्या?
चलिए चलिए।
अच्छा अच्छा। मुन्ना
अरे मुन्ना, तू यहाँ क्या कर रहा है? अच्छा, आपका हाथ है, हाथ है अपना। हाँ, देख मुन्ना, भीड़ बहुत है, तू खो जाएगा, तो इसे हम बांध लेते हैं। चल। अच्छा सुन, आइसक्रीम खाएगा? अम्मा को मत बताना। आइसक्रीम के नाम से देखोगे?
साए में जिसके तू बड़ा हुआ, उस साए को तू अब छोड़ना, छोड़ना, कभी ना छोड़ना।
बाबूजी,
अरे तू कहाँ चला गया था?
खो गया था।
अरे ऐसे थोड़ी जाता है। हाँ बेटा, तो कब बोली थी, मुझे पता था तू आ ही जाएगा। पीना अच्छी है।
बाबूजी,
हाँ,
हाथ बांध ले, भीड़ बहुत है।
अरे तू भी बच्चों वाली बात
अरे
करता
आपका
है।
बच्चा तो बच्चों जैसी बात करो।
I hope you could see the video, right? Prema, was it audible and the visual was clear? Yes. Okay. Fine. So, when you have inhibition to tell a story, when you can't express your emotions in a classroom, take this kind of a video. If you don't have a smart classroom, you can always download this video and put it in the class group and just go for a interpretation session. So when you were watching this video, there were a lot of expressions and emotions running in your face. First you were like, why did this guy leave his dad? The second thing is, when he was trying to reconnect, the smile was there in your face. That is all the emotions that we are trying to express. These emotions only will connect with these kind of emotions will definitely connect to the students. I'm not telling you that every day you do a storytelling session. At least once in a week, once in 10 days, do a small storytelling session in your class, which will connect with the students. So why the storytelling? Because it changes the classroom environment, it changes the learning environment. When the heart is opening up, the mind is opened up for learning. Yes, so storytelling creates a lot of impact. I personally have felt that in my last 15 years of teaching career, and the journey continues. A teacher and a student has to be connected till the end, as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam always says. So that's how I also practice. So if you really feel this pedagogy, teaching pedagogy or storytelling is good, try and practice. In IIT, the first 3 months, what they do is, immediately after their admissions, there is 3 months induction called as getting to know each other. So the storytelling session, it is also a part of it, and even for the higher semesters. We cannot afford 3 months in the Arts and Science College, but definitely we can afford 3 days of vigorous induction for the first year students who are coming to the college. Okay, they come with a high hopes and high regards and high expectations. On the very first day, they should decide, yes, he or she is going to be the right teacher for me till my graduation. Give the sense of feeling and develop this feeling into them, give them the trust and the feeling. So if you really like the storytelling session as a good teaching pedagogy, you can comment in your chat box. So with this, I'm going to my second teaching pedagogy. I have a small video for you again. Um, okay, now you have seen the second pedagogy as flipped classroom. What is flipped classroom? Without giving any gyan, let me directly get into the example what I did for the flipped classroom. So as sir said, financial accounting, I'll go with that subject itself. So when the first year students they walk into the college, they're all commerce students. They have the exposure to the basic accounts and they walk in. So what I usually do is like I give debrief about trading, profit and loss account, balance sheet and final accounts. So the students will try to recollect and they'll try to recollect all what they did in their schooling. So I debrief them and I have told them like we need to do a project or an activity. I gave them all instructions. So instructions was like I had 3 divisions and each division had 65 students. So say 60 students, so all put together 180 students. So I made the students into groups. Each group will have 6 students. Each one will have to contribute 100 rupees per head. So these kids also contributed. So the total investment becomes 600 rupees. The condition is they cannot buy any final product from the market. They have to buy the raw materials, convert that into semi-finished goods, and then the finished product. So everything came out very beautifully. The girls were doing their quillings, the boys were doing wall hangings, flowers, greeting cards, and I also gave them permission. You can do some eatables also, confectionaries, bakeries, whatever you want, you do it. So it all came out well. So with the permission of my principal, what I did is like usually on Saturdays we have something called as Shanivar Munch. That is Saturday, a 1 hour slot for entertainment. So I made that it as a Shanivar Mela. So we had all kind of games like how you see in a village Tiruvizhala pakra mari. I had some games also very interesting. And the other side, the counters were all opened. I mean, it was filled. Imagine 180 students and each group. So everybody were kind of displaying their products and they started selling. The sales was good. Each team had a profit also. The highest profit out of 600 rupees. The first team, they have taken 2,500 rupees. They were baking the cakes. So all that is done. Their students are happy. They have got a exposure. Now coming back to the class, I said, now start preparing your trading profit and loss and balance sheet based on the project, what you have done in the Shanivar Mela. Write your investment, income, expenditure, revenue, even your bus tickets to buy, to travel to and forth. So all these expenses you need to include and put it in the balance sheet. So this is something called as a flip classroom ulta. You are like completely reversing it, just giving them a gist or an instruction, like what has to be done, and they follow your instructions. And the next day in the lecture, there is a brainstorming session. Any doubts and clarification, these kids they can feel free, come and connect with me. So what happens is my bonding with the first year students are really developed well. And unfortunately, I could not teach them in the second and third year because I was shifted to another department. So till now, the students will say, "Ma'am, நீங்க எங்களை விட்டுட்டு போயிட்டீங்க. நீங்க எங்களை விட்டுட்டு போயிட்டீங்க." I mean, every student, not one student, that all 180 will come and talk to me. I feel so happy and proud. Just because of that activity, I could connect well with my students. So this is an example, sir. You can follow. You can also do it in financial accounting. Similarly, when the cost accounting comes, I try to recollect the project, what they have done, prepare a cost sheet based on that. So how raw material is being converted into semi and finished. So this kind of activity based learning makes a student very participative in the class. As you said, the problem is very long. It is very difficult to dictate. I'll come back to that point also. So what we do is we don't have any restrictions in the class. They can use their mobile phones, but it should be on a silent mode. But I know in South we are not exposed to that extent. So what you can do is, like, you can post the questions in the group, WhatsApp group, make them to download. And when you enter the class, the mobile should be in a flight mode where they can only see the questions of the accounts problem and the teacher will be solving it in the board. You can try this, but I'm not sure. Again, there is a challenge. You will ask, "Avan mobile la pathana enna ma'am pandrathu?" There you have to connect an emotional bond with the students, that trust that I believe in you, that you will not check your Facebook and WhatsApp. This kind of emotional threatening will try to connect with your students. Okay, so this is the second teaching pedagogy that I follow in my class. Every semester we'll make sure that we do one big activity based on any of the subjects we teachers decide, because every teacher giving us a flip class, I mean, this kind of a huge project becomes a target for the students. So we teachers, all the subject teachers decide and who will give what project in SEM 1, SEM 2, SEM 3, so that our kids are not overburdened. They'll give their best. So this is one of the teaching pedagogy that's very successfully run, and it was a big hit for me, right? So moving on to my next teaching pedagogy. Okay, I'm going to talk about the bookend lecture method. This is something very interesting. As we discussed in the very beginning, the attention span of the students is only 10 to 15 minutes. If you see that graph, if the first thing what I showed is, I'll show it again, advanced organizing. Advanced organizing is nothing but for tomorrow's class, what topic you're going to cover. You can give an introduction today itself. Tell them I'll be teaching on this topic tomorrow, because each chapter when you start, it will go for a week or 9-10 lectures. So you can give a gist about what is the topic that you're going to cover tomorrow. So when you walk into the class tomorrow, you can make your students speak on what you know about this topic. Randomly you will get answers. That is absolutely fine. Let them break down and let them connect. So give them the space. After this, the advanced organizing is done. A teacher, the faculty can teach for 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, so this is the breakup what I have shown. 10 to 12 minutes effective lecture can be given, and then break for 5 minutes or 3 to 4 minutes depending upon the lecture hour. 50 minutes, of few colleges it is 60 minutes. Depending upon the lecture hour, you break that 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes. Okay, now do some activity here again. Quiz. Do some quiz, or make your students to discuss with their partner who's sitting next by. They can discuss what did ma'am or sir taught in the last 10 minutes. Let them discuss. Okay, put a pause there. Again, you teach for 10 to 12 minutes. Again, a 3 to 4 minutes break. Let the kids interact, or you do any other activity. Ask them to take their notebook, jot down the points or the keywords, what you have understood from the session, what are the key takeaways. Write in the notebook. Depending upon your students' mentality, you decide what kind of breakup should be given. Again, continue your teaching for 10 to 12 minutes. So there is a buffer in between, 5 to 6 minutes. Might be the students will say, ma'am, I would like to go to washroom. Let them go, come back. But then tell them when you go to the washroom also, you think what I taught, because after you come back, I'll ask you. Okay, then he will say, I will sit here itself then. You know, I am not going to washroom, or Lou, he will say. You can see all these kind of funny things in the classroom, right? So let them do whatever they want. That's okay. But 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes, give them some productive, ask them to do something productive to recollect what we taught in that 10 to 12 minutes. And if you see the last bar, it is 5 to 6 minutes summary. So in the 5 to 6 minutes summary, you don't point out anyone, because If you point out a particular student, get up, answer. He will get irritated. Okay, she pinpoints everybody. Don't enter into this kind of arguments itself. Whoever is interested, please get up and tell me about the summary. And the summary, I don't want to be sequence or it should be in a protocol. No, don't tell anything. That whatever you have understood, even one point, tell me that. அவன் வந்து 80% or 70% கரெக்டா சொல்வான், மீதி he'll be wrong. Not an issue. You can give him the right input. What you have already taught, that becomes a revision for the students. Okay, so every student, make them participative and go to the last bench. பையன் மேல கையை போட்டு, தம்பி நீ சொல்லு தம்பி, you tell him na, when you put their hands in their into their shoulders, the connect develops. He or she will start saying, right? So this methodology doesn't require any computer. This methodology doesn't require any overhead projector, nothing. And as a teacher, whenever you're doing activity based learning, make sure that you're doing a session map in your blackboard. What are you going to do? Give that split up. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes storytelling, 10 minutes I'm going to do the flip class, I'm going to 10 minutes do a book and lecture method. So write a session map in the board, not every day. Again, it is a task, I know. At least out of 4 lectures, if you do that 2 lectures writing a session map, the students will develop, okay, she is a very organized teacher, he is a very organized teacher. They're going to convey to us what are they going to do for the today's lecture. Okay, so this is one methodology that I follow, book and lecture method. Of course, yes, it is if not all 70 in the class, at least 50 students will be very active. The remaining 20 we can handle it easily, because there is always a remedial sessions and remedial sessions happening after the lectures. We can focus on them. Our intention for those kids is to make them pass and get out of the college with their graduation, right? So this is my one of the method. Moving on to the next pedagogy. If you see, this is render forest animation. Now, we teachers who are teaching in the smart classroom, we feel PowerPoint presentation is outdated. It is no more being relished or cherished by the students. So this animation I recently learned in FDP during this lockdown. So what happens is, like, you are making an animation just telling the topics, what are you going to teach. There is a music behind which will make you feel happy. There is some kind, music is always a treat to your ears. So this kind of animations can be done, and the animation is very simple. Premalata will be writing the link also in the chat window. It's not a cumbersome process at all. Might be for the first time when you do it, yes, it's going to be a tasking, but second time you will enjoy doing it. This is like a pedagogy which can be used in a smart classroom, but the teachers, again, if they say we don't have a smart classroom, you can very well make your students to do this animation and post it in the WhatsApp group. Give them as a project. I will tell you, our students are technologically very strong these days than us. I learn a lot of things from them. Give them a project, give them an assignment, they will happily do it. So this render forest, I just wanted to replace a PowerPoint presentation. I have made this animation through render forest. It is very interesting. Okay, now moving on to the next pedagogy. I guess all would have heard about mind mapping. Absolutely, without any doubt, everybody would have know about mind mapping. Mind mapping is such a creative tool, I tell you. When you enter into the class weekly, once your topic, you tell them this is my topic. These will be the headings under that, the subtopics. You make a mind mapping, bring out their ideas. This is a beautiful brainstorming session which the students will love to do it. To begin with, don't give them the subject topic directly. Tell them to write about their mobile phones, which they love to do, because that is something which is very closely connected to their heart. So they will write all features of mobile, what all can be done mobile. There will be like 100 points. Now in the animation, I have given the exam tips as an example for the mind mapping. So we as a teacher give a lot of advice to the students who are taking up their semester exams, especially 10th exams and 12th exams. So that's so many points you could have seen in the screen with the animation. The same you can do it with your student in a classroom. It's a beautiful brainstorming session. Their creative skills is increasing. Their innovative skills are also increasing. Now, if you it can be done in the Blackboard as well. There is a software, mind mapping software for the smart classroom teachers. You download the software, go to the class, write the main heading, the all your templates are ready in the software. You just write the main heading there and ask the classroom, discuss in the classroom. They will give you all subheadings and fill it. So that can be done with a smart classroom as well. It can also be done in a Blackboard with a chalk and talk. Right, so this mind mapping software is all very easy. You can download it in YouTube. If you're not able to know how to do it, you can go browse in YouTube and find out what are all the methodologies doing the mind mapping through a software. Okay, so I enjoy doing mind mapping in my class because none of the student can sleep in the class. They know if Sindhu ma'am is entering into the class, the 60 minutes I cannot sleep. I need to be attentive. Let me give my best, otherwise she is going to pick up. I don't give any assignments. I don't give any punishments. Nothing. Nalla kalaipen. Literally, I just pull them, and the entire class will enjoy. It will not hurt them also. I will make sure that, because as discussed, Generation Z is very challenging to handle. Okay, so this is another technique of when getting connected with the students in the classroom. Moving on to my next teaching pedagogy. Okay, case study. This is my strong area, I feel, because I have done a lot of workshops and programs related to case study across. UG level, we generally don't target the students with the case study. It is all in the post-graduation MBA. But the mindset has changed, the concept has changed. Now you have to make your students industry ready. Case study is one best teaching pedagogy to make the students industry ready, because they tend to see what are all the problems happening in the current scenario. Okay, now I'll just give you an example of a case study. As you all know, what is case, and let me differentiate between what is case and what is case study. Case study is a real life situation. Yes, case study is analysis of real life situation. This is called as case study. Now, say for example, in the month of August, September, our hero, Mr. Atti Varadar, was out of the pond after 40 years, and he was kept out for 40 days. In fact, I'm also a devotee who came to Chennai to take his darshan, and I had to be in the queue for 8 to 9 hours. After traveling, hectic traveling, all, I had to stand in queue for 9 hours. I was literally cribbing the organizing committee of how badly they have organized. There was no proper shelter for when the queue. We started the queue. There was no proper shelter. It was raining, and it was totally a mismanagement. So everybody were cribbing about it, undoubtedly. So what we were giving suggestions is like, if Tirumala Devasthanam could have taken up, they could have done it perfectly. These things were discussed, which was very much in air. So there, a case study can be written based on crowd management. Yes, so when we write a case study, when an incident has occurred, when you feel an improvement can happen, when suggestions can be given, a case study can be written. You cannot anticipate and write a case study. Case study is something that what has happened, and you want to give a solution, you can write a case study. So similarly, this Kanchipuram Atti Varadar, we had lot of variations in our mind. Our perception was different. So why can't we write a case study on this? As you saw in the beginning, the Kumbh Mela, where a father and a son story, even a case study was written on crowd management for Kumbh Mela. So the suggestions were given in the case study. Similarly, 2015, we had a Chennai floods. In fact, I was also in Arumbakam, very close to Sir, but I just got to know that we were neighbors before that. So Chennai flood, there was a case study written on the supply chain management. When the flood happened, all the residents who were across the seashore had to be shifted safely to another place. The food has to be supplied. There was an interruption of power. Everything was delayed. Why? Because the strategy was not perfect. So based on a strategy towards the supply chain management, professors from Chennai and Kerala, they have written a beautiful case study where they have given a suggestions. Okay, these are all the case studies. You might say, ma'am, it can be taken to a postgraduate level, not to an undergraduate level. Fine, take a one-page case study. You will find it in a one-page case study in Economic Times. Take that into your class. Again, make them into group. 5 or 6 students in a group. See, if you see right from the beginning, any activity I'm telling you, it's based on the group. Flip classroom is based on the group. Book and lecture, again, they are interacting with the partner. Yes. And point number 3, mind mapping, brainstorming, they discuss with their friends and they do it. Why am I insisting on a group activity? Because when you personally call a student at the individual level, they have a lot of inhibitions. They don't come forward. So to shed their inhibitions and the fear, always make them to work in team, which builds them their confidence, and later they might transform into a individual participant. So always any activity you do to begin with, do it in a group, but 1 or 2 will be always exceptional in the class who will be very good. Okay, you make that student as an in charge, overall in charge, so he will overlook the activities. So when you take this case study into a class, a one-page case study, Maggie noodles case study, based on financial accounting, cost accounting, management accounting, we have a lot of case studies. Take those case studies into the class, make them into group, because one may be very good in analytical thinking, one may be good in logical thinking, one may be good in presentation, one may be good in narrating it, one may be good in interpreting it, and each team will have their different perception and interpretation, right? Let it be. So once the discussion is over, call them to the dais, make them to present what they have understood from the case study. And then after all the group finishes, you give your interpretation, what actually the case study was. So if you want to download the case studies, you can always get into IMA, All India Management Association, where you have the free case studies to download. As well, you can get into Economic Times, where you can download the case study. You will get a one-page case study. And these days, if you see, even in the textbook, behind the textbook, in the last page of the textbook, you will see a lot of case studies being printed. You can take it, which this is all the examples of case study. And if not, give them a situation. Say, for example, Mr. A is telling Mr. B, you need to reach Delhi by tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Okay, so this is the condition. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock, B has to reach Delhi to sign a business deal. So this is an example. Depending upon your subjects, depending upon the topic, you give a situation, right? So for that, you make the students to write the steps. So that steps, I'm going to show it again as an animation. Just give me a second. Let me. So the first step, problem identification. So what is a problem? What is a problem identification? In the Kanjipuram Athivardhar case study, the crowd was not properly managed. How are you going to address that issue? That is your problem identification. Here in this example, Mr. A is telling Mr. B that he has to reach Delhi by 11 o'clock. So the problem is traveling. How is he going to travel and reach Delhi by 11 o'clock? Okay, so this is the first step in case study. I make them to write up, identify the problem. The second step is defining the boundaries. Boundaries are nothing but the limitations. Now, what is the limitations for Mr. B? That he has to reach Delhi by 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is the cutoff time. If he is going to reach after 11 o'clock, he's going to miss the business deal. So make sure that the B is reaching Delhi before 11 o'clock. Okay, so these are the boundaries. Now, step number 3. The third one is case title. Ask the student to give a title for this. He might write as a business deal, a business opportunity. Absolutely fine, because you cannot expect huge things from a UG students. Even if they write a title, that is fine. Only tell them that their title should be related to the keywords which is mentioned in the case. Say for example, this Chennai floods, I told you, they had the resilience strategy. The case study title was given as a resilience strategy. So that what was discussed, it was discussed about the supply chain management. The strategy has to be properly framed so that all the essentials are reaching the public well on time. Okay, so the case title is very important, and it should be related to the content what is being discussed in the case. So everything is based on the assumption. This guy, this B says that, okay, I will take a flight and I will reach Delhi. I'm taking a 6 o'clock flight, 8 o'clock I will reach Delhi. Fine, absolutely fine. And I will reach your office by 11 o'clock. But this is only an assumption. But what if the flight delays? He might not able to reach well on time. His business deal will not be signed. It will get postponed. So what in case if the flight is delayed? So during the takeoff or the landing itself, he will get a message. So let him convey to Mr. A that there is a delay in the flight, and that is the reason I could not reach well on time. So we live on assumptions only. Now also we are living on the assumptions that July our college will reopen, we will start the lectures. And unless and until if a vaccine is not been found out, it's very difficult for us to move on. It's only an assumption that in September or December the vaccine will come out, right? And the next step is possible solution for the case. So in Kanchipuram Ativardhar case, you can give a solution that TTD can take over, NGOs can take over. We also said, like, if it would have been given in the hands of NSS and NCC, they would have done it better. These were all the possible solutions we have given, we have spoken, that you can also write it in your case study. Okay, and you have to, now these are the possible solutions. Next is you have to give a best of the solution out of it, right? That's the next clipping which will come up. I didn't discuss about managerial application because that is something not required for the undergraduate students. If they can assume a situation, if they can feel the situation and write few things in their paper based on these steps, that is a great success for a teacher at the UG level. So when I did a case study program for my undergraduate students, though I'm from commerce, I did for the management students. The participants, the response were huge. Even I never expected UG students can speak so much on a case study. I took a case study based on a HR performance appraisal. I didn't give the title. They founded the title also. It was really mesmerizing for me as a teacher that UG students can speak so much. So it means that we are not taking it. So let's take a case study also into the class and see what is their analytical thinking says. And if you see the last slide in the animation, I left it plain because perception changes. Each one has a different perception. Now, say for example, I'm so happy that professors are all those professors, all the senior most professors are here. I'm so obliged that they are also attending my session because I'm like the student, right? So the perception is like, okay, now what am I going to take it from Sindhu in today's session? They don't have any blockage in their mind. learning doesn't have boundaries. So these professors have accepted me, they have trusted me and given an opportunity to connect with you, right? So the perception differs based on your perception. You can also connect it with the students. So with this note, let me recall what are all the teaching pedagogies that I discussed with you and what I practice in my class. One is about the storytelling session. Give up your inhibition, because when the student's heart is opening up, their mind is also opening up to accept you as a teacher. And the second method, I said flip classroom, make it completely ulta, take an activity based learning in your class. Point number 3 is book and lecture method. Book and lecture method, there is a good break in between where the students do the discussion, they have a interaction with their partners, we have a brainstorming session, there's a quiz, there is every possibility of doing different activities in the 3-4 minutes break. That was the book and lecture method. And to replace a PowerPoint presentation, I have showed you animation, what I have done. What we feel is PPT is outdated. Now we need to go with the students. So with the music call, it's going to be a retreat for them. So the animations can be replaced with a PowerPoint presentation. Mind mapping, it's a brainstorming activity, very creative and innovative, which makes the students to think. Their thinking capability also increases. It can be done with a chalk and talk. It can also be done with a mind mapping software. And finally, I spoke about a case study. That's a very interesting concept. Case study is something I cannot finish it in 10 minutes time. I did a session for 3 hours. So there's a lot more to discuss about the case study. You can explore it. So with this note, I'm coming to a conclusion. As Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam always says, success is when your signature turns into autograph. Walk towards your signature to make it as an autograph. Success is all yours. All the best. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Now, this platform is open for Q&A. If any queries, you can unmute yourself and ask for it. We have 8 minutes left for the session to get over. Any Q&A? Any queries? Prema, if there is any query, otherwise I guess we can.
Once I unmuted everyone. If they have a queries, they can join with them.
The platform is open for discussion. We have 7 minutes to end the meeting.
Hello. Hello.
And join for queries. Yes, ma'am, we are audible.
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am. Hello.
Good morning, ma'am. Yeah, it's audible.
It was a wonderful session. It was a wonderful session, and you made it very lively. Can you explain something about Render Forest, the animation? Can you just show me a demo on that?
I might not have enough time, but in the YouTube, you can go to educational technology, subscribe yourself there and type there as Render Forest animation. You will get a 5 minutes video, which will clearly explain how to do it. Educational technology in YouTube.
Education technology. Okay. Thank you.
Educational technology in YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, you're most welcome. I guess, Prema, can we close the query session? Any
Okay.
more queries?
From the audience, any more queries, ma'am? Shall we wait or we can go for a vote of thanks?
Yes, I
Sir?
guess we can proceed because there's no queries as such.
It is
Prema,
open
is
for
there
all
any
the
queries in
audience.
Prema,
No
is there
queries.
any queries in the chat window?
No, I'm not seeing anything. It is not visible. I'm not seeing any queries here.
Okay, fine.
Sir, can we conclude the
Prema.
seminar formally?
Yeah. You can propose a vote of thanks, Dr. Premlata.
Sure, sir. Very good morning to all. At the outset, I thank the Secretary of our college, Sri Ashok Kumar Mungraji, and our Principal, Dr. R. Ganesan, sir, who are with us in all our endeavor. I thank the Head Department of Commerce, Dr. J. Jaishankar, sir, with whom I have worked intensely for over a week in organizing today's seminar. I thank Professor S. Seshadrinathan, sir, Head Department of Commerce, Shift 2, for a substantial moral support. I thank Dr. T. Velmurugan, sir, Head Department of Computer Application, for imparting immense technical knowledge for conducting this webinar. Then I thank Mr. Sindhu Krishnan, a resource person who is my good friend, for agreeing to be the speaker for today's webinar, and she is so magnanimous to accept invitation within a short notice. Thank you, Sindhu, in conducting the webinar as a service. Last but not the least, I thank all participants for their active participation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pranam to all my gurus. You're all at my guru stage. So thank you very much for accepting and giving me this opportunity to connect. Let's reconnect again and again. So when I come to Chennai, I'll come and meet you in person, sir.
Sure. Welcome.
Thank you, Prema. Very good show. You have done it beautifully. Thank you very much.
Thank
So
you,
can we
Thank you,
end the-
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.